Alright, we're back here with another video. This is Terrell again. Today I found washers for the head studs so I can install this other head on this cylinder, or on this engine. Currently looks like that. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up, make it look all nice and fresh, and stick it on here. Alright, just like the other side, same thing. These things go on the bottom because you have the big holes in the bottom. So, and that big circle goes to there. So you're gonna drop it on just like that. Make sure it goes over there and over. Move this line out of the way. There we go. And on that dowel. There we go. That gasket's on. I'm gonna drop that head on here in just a moment. Get this all nice and torqued down and move on to the fun stuff. All right, just like the last video, I'm gonna install some assembly lube on the threads of each one of these studs. I already put the washers on. Just have to put a thin layer of this lube on the head stud nuts and then torque everything down. Alrighty, it is now a long block. I just cleaned the oil pan surface. You can see down there, kind of boring, but anyways, now I'm gonna do oil pump. It has the O-ring that goes on the front of the pump and then you have to glue it down. And then put all the timing components on and put the intake manifold on top and then the exhaust on bottom and the oil pan, pickup, oil baffle. I have this plate that goes back here soon, and then I have this plate as well, and then I have the rear main seal, and then valve cover gaskets, and it's almost running already. I just have to figure out a clutch for this. All right, flip the block over, clean the mating surface, and I just installed the oil pickup and the oil baffle. It's a new IAG oil pickup. I'm kind of excited to, obviously I guess I can't see it working, but it should work pretty well. Gonna drop the oil pan on, I just put silicone on it. And then next should be the oil pump and the headers, and then the bottom is completely done, and then the front I can start timing. Alrighty, I got the oil pan on and nice and tight, exhaust gaskets on. I have to remove the oil cooler for this set of headers, and this engine didn't come with an oil cooler from the factory. The one I'm currently setting up with, this water pump has it's for JDM basically, so it doesn't have the output for this. So just remove the oil cooler for now. And show you the brand new oil pump I just bought. Nice and fresh from Subaru. I'm gonna install this seal in the front, and then you're gonna install it on the front of the engine, right there. Alrighty, I got the headers on. This whole bottom end's looking good. I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, there we go. All flipped over. Now it's just intake manifold gaskets, which I gotta buy tomorrow. Got both valve covers I gotta put on, or do the half moon seals like I said before. Turbo, coolant and oil line. And on the front, I need a timing cover still. And then time the whole thing after putting the cam seals in. And then she's almost ready to drop in. Just gotta get a flywheel resurfaced and a new clutch. Hey boys and girls, continuation on my WRX video. I just put the cam seals in, and I'm currently going to time it. And I wanted to make a quick little video here. I'll probably make this a short as well. I'm gonna make a video on how I actually time these. That way that when people are like, hey, how do I time my Subaru? I can just direct them straight towards this video. You can see those two cam gears are on, those two are on. I'm gonna tighten them in a minute. So when you go to time this, obviously you're gonna put one of these here, one here. Make sure they don't have any play, they nice and tight. One right here. You got this guy up here, and then your tensioner, you want to make sure that the pin is in and don't remove it until you're actually timed. All right, so I just moved the crankshaft around so that that line is almost lined up with this. I'm going to move it just a little bit more here so it's perfectly lined up. And then you're going to start, once I get these tight of course, but you're going to start with putting these cam gears, that one in line with there. This one, you have a double line, you line it up with the other double line right there. And then this side is tension, so you have to do this with a belt on. All right, so timing Subaru 101. You're gonna either have a dotted line like that, or you're gonna have a straight line. Typically, you're gonna have arrows pointing this way. You're gonna put those dots on the crank, just like that, so it lines up with the line up there. Sorry, not focusing very well. And then you're gonna, all right, after you got that on there, then you're gonna move this belt and put this line here onto here. that. Then do the same thing down here. This line onto that gear. Pull this down on the bottom. I think I always put this like this down below this gear at first. Now typically I try to keep it somewhat like down here. Sorry about the camera angle. Somewhat like this. And then go to this side. Okay, now on this side, you're going to pull it like that, so the tensioner kind of comes up. And then put it over this cam gear. And then you're gonna rotate. This one rotates only this way, and the bottom one only rotates that way. This is what you're supposed to do. And then you turn till that cam is almost perfectly up, and you're going to put the belt line on that cam gear. So I'll show you in a second, but it's supposed to be just like that. And then the same thing with the bottom one, only of course, like I said, you rotate it backwards. I'll show you that if I can here. You line up the double lines right here, and then this right here. And I'll see if I can show you this. Pop this on just like that. That way that line here lines up with the actual cam gear. And then those two are on. And the other side might fall off a little bit, but then see here. Now, I typically go over this one first and then over the top of that. And then once you make sure all of them are good. So after that, I check and make sure they're all good. So that one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. And that one is good. All right. Now I'm gonna pull this tight right here. Like this. It can be really annoying sometimes, depending on how well the tensioner is holding on. Oh, I need a flathead for that. All right, that was my best effort at showing you how I time all Subaru engines. Got all of them on again real quick. On, and on. So very simply, you put this one on first, this one, then this one, then this one, and then this one, and then you slide on here, and then onto here, and then once you're good, pull that out. And I always move this down a little bit to get some pre-tension, just like that. There you go. Now she's timed, and now it just needs the front cover here with, and then you gotta put the crank belt guide on top of here. You put the front cover there, and front cover there. Okay, lastly, you saw me time the car. I had to do most of the rest of the stuff at nighttime when I wasn't very busy, so I didn't have very good lighting, so I didn't record anything, but I got the engine, the covers on the front, the intake manifold on, the exhaust on, everything, and then installed in the car and got the car running, so I'll show the clip here. The only issue I'm running into is my lift is failing, so this is as high as it will go, and the car is not even on jacks. I just barely cleared this front end. It's in though. I go ahead and drop it in, get it nice and set up. See that it's all aligned really well right there, and I got the clutch fork and your belt bearing already on, and then the shaft goes through, and the bolt's tight over here. So I'm gonna drop this motor in. I got it running, it's not leaking, it's running pretty good. And then as it was running for probably 10 minutes or so, got the coolant to bleed and everything, the turbo started leaking out of the back. I assumed it was probably like this the whole time, I just wasn't aware of it, but it's the seals are blown. So I'm going to replace the turbo on this next video. Thank you for watching.